La 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 yeah. There is no real reason for that. I'm just practicing my voice so that I can ride out the Conversion Bureau to Duhad. We're gonna read and react to the Conversion Bureau for anyone listening. I'm doing a Wiltshire accent now, I think it is. Near Cornwall. Near Somerset. Lovely place in England. Lovely places, all of those places I mentioned. It's a bit of a crappy accent, but no one would be able to tell if you didn't live in England. Duhad. He'll be back in a second, folks.
Activating microphone mode.
I've been singing into the microphone to prep my voice for the reading.
Hi.
Right, should we start?
Yeah, yep. By the way, how do I sound? I've been kind of faint.
No, you sound fine, yeah. I was just talking to the audience about what we're going to be doing today.
Oh, shit, son. Okay, so you told them about the Conversion Bureau?
Yeah, Conversion Bureau. And then I did a Wiltshire accent, not entirely sure why.
Alright.
From the author, read first, all caps, brackets. I've seen a lot of backstories written about how Equestria is simply a post-apocalyptic Earth set in the distant future. I decided to expand on it in a much less grimdark fashion. It may seem very human-centered in the beginning, but you'll see more ponies as the story progresses. Enjoy 9_6.
It's supposed to be like eyes, but that's just horrible.
It scares me. Prologue. Hang on, I'm going to move the microphone closer so we can actually do okay. The pony race and humans have lived together in harmony for centuries. A peaceful race. The ponies never really felt the need for war or violence to solve their problems. World problems. Read it wrong already. Things always seemed a lot friendlier with the ponies involved. Only recently have ponies been integrating into the modern human society. Ponies have lived in isolated, calm lands for many generations. Full stop. Should be. But with overpopulation becoming a risk for the equine communities, moving from Canterlot to Newark was a common occurrence in these times.
I'm not entirely sure that's supposed to be Newark or it's supposed to be New York.
Newark.
Newark.
There's too many commas in that sentence, I feel. But yeah. Through warfare and species-exclusive diseases, humans have begun a steady decline in population and general health. The way humans have destroyed the world around them through pollution, greed, and unhealthy living conditions have led the humans to realize the error of their ways. But it has been too late.
We should have listened to Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Why didn't we listen to Captain Planet?
Oh god. We should have listened to General Green, the Eco Man.
General Green?
Yeah. Like Reverend Green in Cluedo.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Wait, hold on. Wait, he's General Green in British Cluedo?
No, he's not. It just rhymed with green.
Oh, I was going to say,
Well, it has the first same letter, I say. It's alliteration more than...
Man, my brain, it's gone all crazy.
Yeah.
Alright, go on.
I'm more concerned with the fact that apparently in this world, all of our healthcare technology has just gone out the window. Apparently, species-exclusive diseases have just wiped us out.
I actually, honestly, as much as he's saying like, oh, they're peaceful and stuff, technically, historically speaking, that actually does make sense. But only because it's the idea that the diseases had already existed in the other species and that it had actually mutated into a form that would affect humans, which would actually, be really bad because there's no immunity.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, but it's entirely the other species' fault. So yeah, fuck you elves, you're not actually,
That's what I was thinking, actually, though. For instance, our healthcare technology, it's possible that like in this story, what they're saying is the healthcare technology was there, but like they're expressing concerns about now, viruses, etc., are becoming immune to our cures for them, and bacteria are becoming resistant to the antibacterial or antibiotics. Is the actual word I'm thinking of.
But to be fair, as we go into the next paragraph, the scientific oddities of things of all this the scientific oddities that we're discussing will be made utterly pointless because of the pseudoscience bullshit that's about to be dropped on us.
I mean, I really wish that. I mean, sometimes obviously if it's science fiction you can't help it, but I don't like it when people do the pseudoscience thing, because I still see a difference between science fiction and pseudoscience in the respect that one of them is clearly science fiction and the other one is trying to pretend that it's real science, but it has no real backup for what it's said.
Science fiction as in science used in fiction, to science fantasy where it's just using science as a stand-in for magic is something that's so far beyond our comprehension that it's basically does anything. I
mean, it's a very fine line, because I like when people explain science fiction and say, this anti-gravity drive works like this, and they say all the workings of it. That's not pseudoscience, because it's clearly made up in the author's head, but it's very kind of,
it's internally consistent.
It justifies how this device works. Whereas pseudoscience, I'm trying to think of a good example.
That was a proton particle beam off the main deflector dish.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so that's a proton particle, and for this reason all of these things are happening, and I don't know, it's a really difficult thing to...
It's bad Star Trek writing.
Yeah, it's basically bad Star Trek writing. Okay, anyway, ponies, being a hardy, largely pacifistic folk, have slowly become the majority in world population, but only just so. It was becoming clear the time of the humans was coming to a close. Soon, scientists of both human and pony worked together to create a formula to, in a sense, ponify a human, and hopefully keep society from collapsing. Their long-term plan was to start a thriving pony-centric world for generations to come. How does that work exactly? Why was that their automatic thought? It's like, okay, human race is being attacked by diseases and pollution. Let's turn ourselves into a completely different genetic makeup.
All right, everyone. Clearly, this super cancer is destroying the entire population. The only cure? To turn all the humans into marmots.
That's what I'm saying, especially if it was a super cancer, because other animals can get cancer.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this interim period, humans were plagued with mass confusion and doubt as to what to do. Most humans understood the decline in the population and would much prefer to be a pony. With a down-to-earth, carefree lifestyle, the possibility of flying or using magic to their advantage, and current human health problems a thing of the past, what could possibly go wrong? However, some people have shown some second thoughts. People like Ethan McCulloch. He's Scottish.
So I do like how this basically is who wouldn't want a life full of flying and using magic, or being a farmer, I guess, down to earth, carefree lifestyles. Like you could be a Pegasus and fly. You could be a unicorn and use magic, or you could be you could be a
have
hippie.
Nothing normal apart from having 4 legs instead of 2 now.
Yeah, so just be totally the exact same person, just you're a farmer or a hippie. Yeah, that's what the Earth ponies bring to the table.
My problem with this actually is the fact that, aside from does this kind of try and rely on actual science to prove the things that are in this story. Is that
Nope. I think some of the other spin-off stories do,
Yeah.
but like this one's pretty much just.
okay? I won't bash it for that then, but I was saying like,
Honestly, it really just kind of comes down to Animal Farm. 4 legs good, 2 legs bad.
yeah. Well, basically what I was thinking was that Ethan McNugget, or whatever his name is, he, like, if you kind of forget about the whole ridiculousness of changing genetic makeup, surely ponies are like not the best thing to turn into, because if they're anything like horses, they break their legs really easily.
Well,
They,
we could create a race of atomic supermen.
if you like
That
twist
would
their
work.
intestines round like 2 degrees, their intestines will break and they'll die. They're not exactly the most hardy of animals, and they're
Okay,
saying,
yes.
oh, the humans are dying out due to disease.
To be fair, we're not talking about ponies, we're talking about My Little Ponies. So, I mean, like, to be fair, they are significantly hardier considering the shit they, get smashed and killed.
Considering the fact that they apparently can't die.
They're cartoon characters. I'm pretty certain they're, a little bit hardier than your average frail.
Fine.
puppies.
Okay. Chapter 1, in which something happens. Is that really
That is
the
the
name of the chapter?
That is
Okay.
the chapter.
Ethan rose from his bed on that warm sunny morning in April to the sun beating down through his window. The sun was offering a beat down. The sun beat him down. He knew today was the day. He was finally going to do it. Get it done and over with. He was going to be ponified, and he was going to move to the pony world.
So yes, our first suggestion to our character in the last thing was some people have second thoughts. Some people like Ethan. Beginning of chapter 1. So Ethan was off to go and get ponified.
Well, so much for that. I hope that actually, like, he has second thoughts later, because otherwise
No,
that's going to be a massive
yeah.
contradiction of
No,
that story.
he does. Trust me, it's not worth it. Just keep on, though.
Most of his other friends have already gone through the ponification process, and now it was his turn. For a young adult still not quite done with his teenage years, this 17-year-old couldn't help but succumb to peer pressure. Well, I never succumbed to peer pressure, and I'm 17 years old, so how could he not help to succumb to peer pressure? Anyway, Ethan, yeah, Ethan's a dick. No, Ethan laughed quietly and got up to pack.
Haha, man, I got peer pressured. What a riot.
I'd
Alright,
also
time to
like to
ban my
make another
species.
point. I'd like to make another point that as an experienced 17-year-old, this story is highly inaccurate, because you cannot, as a teenager, just go from just woken up to packing. You have to spend at least another hour lying in bed just trying to get up in the morning because you're so tired.
Wow, you were a shitty teenager.
No, that's how all teenagers work. What's wrong with
I
you?
was a teenager. I didn't do that shit.
Clearly you were never tired.
I just had very early classes, and I had to, bike 2 miles to
Oh,
school.
I do
so
too.
I didn't have time for that.
I have to get up and be there by 8 generally.
Yeah, I had to get there by 8, but I also have to bike 2 miles in order to get to there uphill. So
Yes, all right. Let's not do the
The
whole
point is,
charity case
yeah,
video. You
When
can save Duhad this extra
uphill
bike if you buy him a car. Just
that was
donate
like
£2
5
a
years
year.
ago, dude. It's been a very long time. Actually, it's been 6 years since I was 17. Jesus.
It's all right then, old man.
All right,
Actually,
anyway, continue on.
No, my point is that it's a scientific fact teenagers are lazy. Okay, no,
Yes, in the same way, it's a scientific fact that all teenagers are
Peer pressure.
pressure.
Anyway, Ethan laughed quietly and got up to pack. The newspaper talked about it last month. He still had the clipping of the article on his wall of his bedroom. Ponification camp opens. Hundreds flock to join Pony Society. That's funny, because I remember some other sort of camps opening where many people flock to it. Not on their own, not of their own free will, of course.
It
But
doesn't exactly help his cause, though, when he's trying to say that, the ponification camps, these are good things. These are morally upright. Anyway, so yeah, it's about a species being genocided, and in order to save them, they're herded into camps.
yeah,
No implications here.
because that never happened in history before 1940s.
It's just that's really kind of uncomfortable to if he was. It's kind of thing where I'd actually be calling bullshit if he was talking about that from the negative perspective, because I'd be like, dude, that's not cool. Drawing in Holocaust
Don't
imagery
make
in order to do.
Holocaust references. Come
Like,
on.
that would be bad. But here's the thing: he's pro this thing. He's drawing in. I can only imagine non-deliberate Holocaust imagery for the good guys.
Yeah, I don't think it was deliberate Holocaust imagery, but the point is, it's still there. He called it a camp.
Unfortunate implications. Continue though.
Ethan had skimmed through the article several times a day, looking over the regulations and the daily regimen of the 7-day camp. Why is it? It's not like a bloody holiday weekend or like summer camp. Why the hell?
We
does
can
it take
change the
7
species.
days?
It'll take 7 days. I mean, half the time isn't even done with the operation. We're just kind of having you come in to fuck around for a bit.
You just piss them out for 7 days, and then on the last day they'll do the operation. And as he packed the 6 sets of clothes, toiletries, and other essentials, he was confident he'd know what he was doing the moment he walked into the door of the camp. Ethan hopped into his car and drove his way through the streets of his hometown. There were many memories attached to these streets, and hopefully they will stay with him when he comes back, a totally different species entirely. The once crowded suburban complex he called home was now barren, with only a few of his neighbours still going about their businesses. And some ponies are seen bustling through the streets and skies above. Ethan knew that this kind of living was soon going to come to an end, and the new society he will soon be integrated into will be much better. Or at
We
least
shall create a new society with our master race.
Yeah, or at least that's what he was reassuring himself.
God damn
with.
it! Why is it Nazi imagery just keeps on coming up in this fucking story?
Die Untermenschen. We must wipe the Untermenschen from the face of the earth. And that's an Iron Sky quote, even though Untermenschen actually does mean subhuman. But that's not the point. Yeah. Sorry to any of our German listeners. I've actually only gotten to like the first sub-paragraph of this massive paragraph in chapter 1 of like 4, so we should probably hurry this up.
Yeah.
Otherwise the recording file is going to be bigger than a Fraps file of like 3 minutes. Ethan hopped into his car, blah, 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 the once created suburban complex, integrated into... Okay. After about 20 minutes behind the wheel, following the MapQuest directions he'd printed out the day before, Ethan arrived at what looked like the cleanest building in the neighbourhood. Started some trouble in my neighbourhood. I got in one little fight and my mum got scared.
Yeah, who's wasting time now?
Sorry. The camp looked more like a clinic on the outside, with what looked like a large greenhouse complexed in the back, and a sprawling field of fresh grass even further back. The people-to-pony ratio in the general area of the building was about even, with nervous humans walking in and ecstatic ponies coming out. Ethan parked his car, got his things, and headed outside. Just quickly, is this one of these things where it's like Celestia master plan? She's got evil intent to convert all the humans.
Depending on which of the spin-off stories you read. Not in this one, but all of the anti-pony spin-off stories mostly portray Celestia as essentially being...
Does she even come into the equation in this story?
I think she comes in briefly, for something really, really stupid.
Really
By the way, though,
menial.
real quick, just as a point, we're going to get to this in a moment, but remember how this is supposed to be, the author's idea of how, like Equestria came to be without humans, but without making an apocalyptic world and stuff, implying that this is sort of the distant history Equestria.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main 6 are in it. And friends. So...
Oh yeah, so it's in the distant future, but apparently,
No,
as
the
you
distant
said,
past.
they cannot die.
It's the distant past, remember? This is how Equestria was made. Apparently, either the main 6 are immortal super beings that just happen to have lost their memories and grown younger at one point, or they are literal, like they reincarnate, like they all died. Like this happened, then they all died, and then generations later they came back in new forms and became friends again.
The continuity is driving me insane. There was something else that I watched. It was a film or something, and the continuity in it was so bad. I think it was one of those real, like, not even a B-rated movie, like a C-rated movie, and someone was doing a critical review of it, and the continuity was ridiculously bad. This is what this fan fiction is. Ethan parked his car, got his things, and headed outside. Next paragraph, finally. The waiting room gave off a very noticeable vibe that would normally come from a doctor's office. It was awkwardly quiet in the mid-sized room with only a few people sitting in comfortable chairs reading old magazines. I'm sorry, but I don't particularly like hospitals. If I was in basically a room where I was waiting to be genetically modified, I'd be bricking it. How are people just sitting there reading magazines?
Normally, I wouldn't have a problem with people, being relatively common in the hospital, since I don't have a huge problem in hospitals. But like, they are going in for a major, massive surgery.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
to change their race,
when I go to my general practitioner, I'm not generally worried unless I've gone in for a specific problem. If it's like general checkup, I'm hardly going to be like nervous. But these people, it's not like they're coming out and saying, "Oh, it's time for your general checkup." It's time for your genetically modified being operation, open wide.
It's time for your brain transplant.
Yeah. It was awkwardly quiet.
Reading old magazines,
and a unicorn pony at the reception desk typing on the computer with her magic and sorting papers with her hooves. Ethan quietly walked up to the desk and wrote his name on the sign-in sheet, placing the application he had filled out the night before in the basket with a few others, and sat down with the other people. The uneasiness in the room was palpable. Suddenly,
they're all calm, but now they're also,
we're calm, but we're not calm. Suddenly, after what felt like hours, the doctor on the opposite end of the room, the door, sorry, not the doctor on the opposite end, opened, startling everyone in the room, even the secretary pony. A lime green mare appeared from the other side of the room and looked at the people in the chairs, including Ethan. After a minute, she spoke. "Okay, all of you come with me," she said, in that kind of peppy, cheery tone that would annoy the average Shomo off the street.
Schmo.
Shamo.
Schmo. Joe Schmo.
I'm trying to think of a German word that begins SCH so I can say it now, but I can't think of one. The aforementioned people rose quickly and started for the door. Anything to break the monotony of sitting in that room. Something told Ethan that it brought back bad doctor memories for most of them.
So first they're totally calm, then they're all anxious, and now they're just, bored.
I love that. It's like, they've all got ridiculous, personality disorders in that respect then. Or emotional disorders. It's like, oh my god, I'm not worried, but now I'm worried, but now I'm bored. In the space of 5 seconds.
Breaking the monotony of sitting in that room. Something told Ethan it brought back bad memories of doctors. So monotony means boredom, being bored as hell. So basically, the feelings of monotony that's breaking.
Oh yeah, those.
It's like, oh man,
boring.
My bad memories of oh man, I can't stop thinking about all the times I've gone to the doctors. It's been terrible. Man, I'm so bored right now.
Yeah.
So bored.
Now I'm going
doctor visits.
Now I'm going to take you 5 to your living quarters, the pony says as they walk down the long hallway to the dormitories. Even though ponies had been living in his neighbourhood for a few years now, Ethan had never really gotten the chance to be this close to a pony before. How can he not have? He just said his friends had been turned into them.
Apparently he's not close with his friends. He's sort of like, oh.
They had always... every time he came into a room with them, he'd sit on the opposite side of the room so he was far away as possible. They had always been either at home or at work, and his friends and family didn't really have any pony acquaintances he knew of. At least until they became ponies, that is. It was an odd experience being this close to a fellow sentient being that looked nothing like him. It felt like he was following a talking dog. Brilliant.
1, racist, great. 2, again, he has no friend. It's not like he had any friends or family who had been ponies. Well, at least until they became ponies.
And then he never talked to them again.
And I think it does actually explain it later on. It's like they just don't go back to living in the human world. But the thing is, why the hell would he think that he's going back to his the streets? Like he was saying before, when he was leaving, if none of his friends ever come back, he's like, oh well, my friends all just went to get changed.
That's the thing I'm slightly confused about is why is it that some of them get sent off to the other world, and some of them, he says, are flying around the streets above him.
I don't even fucking know. It's weird.
How can some of them go back and some of them not? That doesn't make sense. Anyway.
Also, I'd be super concerned. I'd be like, what the hell? Why is everyone I know going to this camp to be converted and then disappearing?
Yeah, does that not ring alarm bells? It would for anyone else in the world.
Yeah.
But Mr. McNugget doesn't understand that. That's what I'm going to call him now because I can't pronounce his second name. Now I'm going to take you 5 to your living quarters, talking dog. Finally, the pony and her followers arrived at a small hallway. There must have been 20 rooms there, each individually numbered like a hotel's rooms. Pony directed each of the people to their respective dorms, and Ethan was the last. He got room 526. I really hope that's relevant, otherwise it's a waste of time mentioning it. Or so it said on the plate on the front of the door. It was then he noticed the doors had no knobs, no, and just pushed open, like a public restroom. Ethan got self-conscious about his privacy until he noticed the wooden door block placed tenderly at the edge of his room. I love the fact that it's like, okay, I'm in a camp where I'm about to be genetically, like, sliced up and reassembled. Oh no, my privacy, the door doesn't have a doorknob.
That's it. Fucking done. No, you can chop me up and put my brain inside a, pink, like miniature pony. But no. I want my fucking locks on my doors.
It's the
Screw this, I'm done.
The doorknob isn't the thing that locks it. It would be the lock. So even if it had a doorknob, it wouldn't necessarily be a lock there, would it? So because not all doorknobs have locks with them, so he should have wanted a door lock. I don't know. The dawn was simple and warm. The first thing he noticed was the heater was on full blast, so he turned it down to a reasonable temperature and put his stuff down on the bed. The bed was short and stocky, but still managed to be a full-sized bed with a fluffy, sleepable mattress and neatly made sheets. There was punctuation, but I'm trying to make up for lost time. Before he had a chance to unpack his things, a knock unexpectedly came at his door. "Ethan, is this your room?" The reception lady told me to come to 526, but I'm not sure if the signs got mixed up or anything, so I'm just making sure. The familiar voice babbled on as Ethan opened the door to his old middle school friend Barry Gill. What is with these second names?
Please.
Glessy. Barry was lanky with a messy brown Jew fro on his head.
Oh, god damn it! God damn it! Will you stop? You don't send the guy with the Jew fro to the camp. No.
Oh look, it's the guy with the Jew fro and he's in the camp. Oh.
No! This is terrible.
Doesn't this just bring back memories of 1940s?
You stop representing the fucking Holocaust.
And was wearing a grey, battered-looking t-shirt with equally as battered cargo pants. The two friends man-hugged. At first glance of each other. I like how he has to specify. It's like it wasn't in some sort of weird homoerotic way. It was a man hug. "Hey buddy," Ethan greeted Barry with his first genuine smile of the day. "Hi there. I guess I was right about the room." That's like one of those terrible one-liners you get in like CSI Miami. "I guess I picked the right room."
Yeah.
There's like no need to mention that. It wasn't even funny. Barry replied and let himself into Ethan's room, sitting enthusiastically on the bed after a short silence. Barry continued. "So I guess you're here for the pony thing, eh?" "No, I'm here to exact revenge on one of the employees here. He killed my father and must die," Ethan replied with a dead serious look on his face. Soon both of them collapsed in laughter. Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I remember that.
At a camp. Death at a camp where there's a guy with a Jew.
Stop representing Nazi shit. Oh god damn it.
Yeah, that's not. That's so funny.
Well, just wait till you meet his girlfriend Anne Frankie. Oh, I'm going to hell for that. Sorry.
I did not see that coming.
No, that's not actually a thing. I would actually hurt this author if that it was a thing.
Yeah.
If he went that far.
I think we should Gestapo with these puns. They're not really very good.
No, Jesus.
And frankly, they're just plain wrong.
Oh, fuck you. Oh.
Any more? Let's get on with this now. We're really pissing that now. So they started laughing. "Sure as hell I'm here for the pony thing, buddy. How long have you been here? I just moved in last night. We're supposed to go for a seminar after dinner tonight to inspire us to make the right choices and all that junk." Oh my god. Sorry, there was no way I would ever go to a camp if they basically, you're sat in a waiting room, they put you in a tiny like room, and then they say they're having a seminar to inspire you to make the right choices. That sounds like indoctrination.
Oh, don't be silly. Now, to be fair, the 2 minutes of hate bit where they're all encouraged to throw things and scream at a picture of a human, that's a little bit on the creepy side, but honestly, it's fine. It's fine. Big Brother's watching, it's fine.
It's fine, Barry said, using finger quotes where appropriate. What is this? Finger quotes where appropriate. It's like saying, "You may use lethal force where appropriate."
They can man hug and use. Yeah, this guy's the best. He's got a Jew fro. He's got man hugging,
Hmm.
and
And he uses
using
air quotes where appropriate.
only when appropriate. Honestly, he's a keeper.
Yeah.
He is a keeper.
Half the reason I'm going is because my friend is giving the speech. She's a pony too. You have pony friends already? Geez, I wish I did. Things are so weird around here. Okay, Ethan replied. You
I've
get
never
used
been
to
near
it.
one of them before, but hey, man, I wish I had friends.
I did, and I've only been here for 15 hours. He was counting every single second. Ethan spent the next couple of hours looking over the papers given to him in his dorm room with Barry, and meanwhile catching up with his long-lost friend. Barry had moved out of the suburbs this summer before their first year of high school, and Ethan hadn't been able to keep in touch with him since. He was glad he had a friend at the camp. He what?
To be fair, he hadn't tried.
Yeah, that's true enough.
But like each other. Keep going.
He was glad he had a friend at the camp to go through the purification with, and he was sure Barry felt the same way. Well, I think the seminar is coming up soon. Do you have anything to eat before you came? Did you have anything to eat before you came over? Barry asked Ethan as he unpacked his things. Well, 2 hours later, he finally unpacks his things. Not really, but I'll probably grab something from the vending machine outside or something. Let's just get this over with, Ethan said, attempting to hide his anxiety. He was unsuccessful. He was unsuccessful.
I've failed.
Barry seemed to pay no attention to Ethan's jitteriness. Sounds like a plan. Let's roll. And with that, they set out on the short walk to the seminar hall.
Alright, let's go through chapter 2 as well, and then we'll stop there.
Yeah. Are you sure you don't want to do more? I've got plenty of time. If you've got the time.
Let's start with
Chapter 2. Let the game begin. The room the seminar took place in reminded him of a town meeting. The room was empty, save for about 30 chairs, half of which filled, and a chair up front for the presenter. Lots of small talk could be heard and not a pony in sight. As expected, Ethan and Barry walked in and sat down quietly close to the front of the crowd, both joking about how they got front row seats. So what is this thing about again? Ethan asked curiously. He was still a little jittery about being new. It's just to greet the newbies, like us. Relax, this won't take long, Barry assured Ethan with a pat on the back. And the presenter trotted out from a door that Ethan hadn't seen before. The crowd fell silent immediately. Unicorn Pony was very calm and studious looking, but still looked like she'd be nice if you talked to her. She had a noticeably purple coat with a dark purple straight mane and unique pink streaks. Oh, I wonder who this could be.
That's Rainbow Dash.
The symbol on her flank was a magenta six-pointed star surrounded by a few other smaller stars. I'm sorry, just quickly, six-pointed star. Camp.
Oh, do we stop?
It's a five-pointed star, it's okay, don't worry.
It's not the Star of David, god damn it.
See, I wasn't racist because I didn't...
Actually, wait.
It's got 5 points, I think. No, wait, no, it might have 6 points.
No, the Star of David has 6 points.
Damn it, I was. I didn't want to be insulted.
Son of a bitch.
Come on. When you get into this frame of mind, like, you basically put me in this frame of mind because you kept mentioning the camp.
Well, it's not my fault. I'm not the one who decided to throw Nazi imagery into this shit.
Six-pointed star, Jufro, camp, seminar halls where they teach you about the right decisions. Footmarks where appropriate.
What?
Right, anyway, a few smaller stars. She pulled a pile of papers out she had been holding with her magic on the chair up front and started once the crowd quietened down. Afternoon, everyone. I'm, you guessed it, Twilight Sparkle, and I'll be talking to you for the next 20 minutes. Oh god, it's bad enough when you've got a person talking to you for 20 minutes. No offense, Duhad. We've been talking for an hour and 56 according to this Skype call. Ethan could hear a few people faintly giggle at Twilight's name, but she simply ignored them. Now I'm almost positive all of you are here because you want to become a pony. No!
No, actually I'm just here for the free coffee. I'm gonna leave now. See you guys.
This is a fact. You don't come here because you don't want to be a pony unless someone forced you at gunpoint, but that's a different story.
Wait, was that actually...
Yeah.
Okay, like...
Twilight continued. Casual but serious. I'd say it's very serious.
It's like, what the hell? Are like the police like forcing criminals in here at gunpoint? Like, okay, your sentence is to be turned into a pony.
I may not
get it,
understand your reasoning behind your choice to become a pony, considering I was born one myself, but I can understand why what we have been facing in the past few years. Humans such as yourselves have brought your world to shambles, all because of the selfish greed of big business and the horrible health habits of the majority of the population. Wow.
Why have we not listened to Captain Planet? Why?
What is with this guy bashing us constantly? Like, we're alright at the moment, aren't we? I don't see the human race facing imminent destruction at the moment.
So I don't entirely disagree with this guy, but wow, could you be a little bit more heavy-handed with your political opinions? I'm not entirely sure if we're picking up on them yet.
Come on. I know it's a bit of a self-centered way to think about it, but all of us, in the massively distant future, we're all going to be dead anyway, so even if the human race does all die horrifically in a massive planet explosion because of us and what we've done, it won't matter to any of us at the moment. It's not going to happen in the next 28 days. You'll notice why
28 days later,
yeah, exactly, that's why I said it. Yeah, I made a reference, yay. Twilight pointed at a map of the world with a small island just outside the east coast of the United States circled in red marker. Ponykind faces overpopulation in ways that the tiny isle of Equestria simply can't keep together for long. Okay, so suddenly the island of Equestria is just off the south coast of America.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Continue.
That's why we've moved into your towns and cities. A small pause while some coughed near the back. I'm sure you all know about this already, but what you haven't heard is why we're doing this. Why you are here today, sitting in this cramped room with sweaty, tired people just waiting for me to stop talking. Our plan is to ponify you. The sooner the better. Expect this to happen when you least expect it. You'll get used to our culture, our food, and our lack of thumbs. Trust me, it's easier than it looks, because humans can't handle the magic radiating from equestrian borders. Becoming a pony is crucial to expanding the peaceful, friendly aura that surrounds Equestria every day of every month of every year. Thank you. I'm sorry. The way that was worded, that just screams like...
No, you know what? One second.
Like, that just...
It is pretty unfortunate implications-tastic.
Well, that sounds a lot like, you know, if you were going to pick a side, that sounds like the ponies are in the wrong, you know. They've rocked up on this island and they're emanating their magical aura, which is killing the humans. If this were, like, now, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if just the military's banded together and nuked the island into oblivion.
Yeah. To be fair, again, this is why half of the spin-off stories that come from this are about how the humans are basically the good guys being, you know, having their planet burned down from under them by...
That is kind of the way it's being described here. It's like, we're going to change you, sooner the better, we're going to do it at some point, you better be ready, because basically, if you don't, you're screwed either way. If you don't want to become one of us, then you'll get killed by the magical aura, which you can't stomach. And, you know...
Also, the fact that, you know, part of her description is, you will become part of us, blah, 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 people existence, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but it's like, it's not just that you will be turned into this so that you won't die. It's also, you will accept our culture. You will be incorporated into our lifestyle, our food. Like, you will be us. You will not maintain your previous personality. You will be, added to the collective.
She talks about the selfish greed of big business. Well, is that not kind of a conglomerate, kind of like eating up and absorbing everything else, the same sort of thing as a conglomerate of one race eating up and absorbing a load of another race and deliberately changing them and forcing them into what they want?
Yeah. Not to mention, by the way, like, oh yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, their society is perfect. I mean, it's not like, they don't have any businesses there. It's not like there's a character in the show who is a business owner, or like
quite a large business owner as well. It's a whole apple farm.
Well, yeah, there's that. There's the dressmaker.
There's the fashionista.
There's the whole fashion industry. There's the guy who runs the chain store.
Yeah.
So clearly, no, big business doesn't exist.
Yeah, because Equestria was so uncapitalized.
There's no evil or unhelpful ponies. No, they're all basically good guys.
Ponykind faces a population, blah 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 blah.
Also, sorry, that's one other thing I also wanted to bring up. I actually wanted to bring this up first, but I got distracted. We are facing overpopulation on our island. Therefore, we're gonna turn you all into ponies.
Seems legit. That was obvious. That's like the biggest overreaction. That's like, oh, a penny hit the floor. World War III.
It's like, no. Well, the thing is, like, no, don't think about it that way. Think about it this way. their reaction is literally the same as, oh shit, we spilled milk on the floor. Okay, best solution, let's buy about 50 gallons, just pour it all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an overpopulation problem. Let's make more of them.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It's like, okay, so the magical aura.
The only way this does work is if, this actually is like that type of camp and that they are going to kill them all, because that's the only way you can keep the population under control. You don't control overpopulation by making more people. China didn't go like, okay, we have too many people in our country.
Let's introduce
make
the
a law that says
five-child
you
policy.
have to have 5 children, and we are going to adopt people. Like, we will pay other countries to give us their orphans.
A small applause followed, and most people got up and started to leave for their dorms. Barry immediately got up and walked up to Twilight, who hadn't moved since she stopped talking. Twilight, how's the new job treating you? Barry asked hardily. Great, Barry. Good to see you finally caved in and signed up for the cause. And who is this? Twilight gestured to Ethan, who had just walked up to join Barry. Ethan jumped a little at the attention. I'm Ethan. Oh, sorry, I'm Ethan. He mumbled nervously. He wasn't really that good at talking to ponies that much, and that coupled with his normal social awkwardness is a horrible combination.
So, by the way, really quick, just again, remember how Barry said he was only here for like 15 minutes and he was already making friends?
Yeah.
So he barely showed up for like 15 minutes, met Twilight, met one of the main 6, and then was just immediately like, hey, like, we're now best friends.
How's the new job going?
How's the new job going that apparently you got within the last 15 minutes?
Yeah, because I knew what your job was before and everything. No, I guess it's possible that she could have gotten the job, and because they were friends, they were talking about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I just got this job doing this."
Friends within like the last 15 friggin' minutes.
It's unlikely because
20 minutes. Sorry.
If he knew that she just got this new job, he wouldn't be saying how's the new job, because they'd just been talking about
it. Hold on. He's been here for 15 hours. So to me, it's not as stupid. But the thing is, again, it's still pretty goddamn stupid. It's less than a day.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it would work.
Sociable people I know don't like become fast friends with like people who are like super tight after knowing the person for 15 hours, unless like they actually spent he spent pretty much all of his time at the camp. Yeah. Hanging out with Twilight, which apparently implies that she didn't have a job that she was doing.
She spent all her time. Okay, anyway, Ethan here is an old friend of mine from middle school. He's dorming next to me for the week. Barry said enthusiastically, putting his arm around Ethan's shoulder. Yeah, haha, Ethan added, just as awkward as earlier. You remind me of another friend of mine, Ethan. It's nice to meet you. I bet who that... Oh, let's place our bets on who we think that character is, who she's thinking of.
I'm thinking it's Pinkie Pie.
Yeah, that's the one. Twilight replied, smiling genuinely at him. Ethan smiled back, only glad that he didn't come off as a total creep. He probably did.
Yeah, Twilight, she's like the most socially, confident character on the show.
Clearly. Well, we'll be heading back to our dorms now, Barry stated. Actually, I wanted to talk to Twilight for a minute, if you don't mind, Ethan said, finally growing a pair and speaking up. That sounds like another political view, growing a pair and speaking up. Sorry. In that mindset now, it's like, yeah, you should all... Oh, sure, Barry said, a little surprised. Don't let him get on your flank, Twi. See you guys later. And with that, he rushed back to his dorm, leaving Ethan and Twilight the only people in the room. What did you want to talk to me about, Ethan? Twilight asked. Well, I hope I'm not wasting your time or anything. I don't want to seem like just some bum off the streets. No, not at all. A friend of Barry's is a friend of mine.
I've known him for 15 hours. He's
that's like such a cringe-worthy phrase. It's like, that's not the sort of thing you say when you've met someone over the course of 15 hours. That's like friends for years and years.
Yeah, to be fair, the line, while it is cringe-worthy, it's mostly just masking, the true intention of the line, which is, oh, don't worry, you're a main character. We're best friends.
Yeah. Now, what's troubling you? Twilight got up from her chair and started cleaning up a bit. Well, Ethan started, realizing he had not rehearsed this beforehand. I'm a little apprehensive about the ponification. I want to go through with it, but I'm a little, for lack of a better word, suspicious of the anonymity of the process itself. I hope you understand my feelings. Twilight, a little taken aback by how surprisingly wordy he is.
Man, he said like 5 words. Jesus Christ, will you just shut your goddamn mouth?
Yeah. I'd also like to make a point. That's wrong tense there. It should be how surprisingly wordy he was, because it's changed. That suggests it's changed tense when he says is. Does that make sense what I just said?
Yeah.
Despite how shy he was at first impression. stopped what she was doing and looked at Ethan. There's no need to be suspicious. It'll be like getting a shot or taking medicine, plus you'll be unconscious during the actual transformation, so you won't feel any pain. That suggests that if you were conscious, you would feel pain.
Don't worry, it's like taking medicine or getting a shot, except that you fall unconscious and you wake up and you're in a different body.
Yeah, perfectly normal.
Don't worry, there's going to be horrendous pain, but you'll be unconscious through all of it.
You'll be okay. Anything that induces incredible pain, even if you're unconscious, can't be good for you. But after all that, Ethan was still iffy. I don't know, I still don't feel right about it. Twilight looked at Ethan in the eyes for the first time and smiled reassuringly. You'll be fine. Now go see Barry. I think he's been waiting for you. How could you possibly know that?
Well, he left like 3 minutes ago. I bet like Barry like see you guys later. I need to go. Steps outside. I think, Jesus Christ, where is he? Oh my God! Finally.
It wouldn't even be like 3 minutes. I don't think that dialogue realistically wouldn't even take 2 minutes probably.
Wow. I honestly think Twilight's basically just going like, oh Jesus Christ, he's still talking to me.
Yeah, please,
you know, your friend's probably looking for him.
Please leave, is what I'm trying to say here.
Get
Ethan
out.
looked back out the doorway to see Barry waving his hands wildly in the air, looking at Ethan in impatience. Thanks, Twilight. See you tomorrow. Because I totally said that I would see you tomorrow, and I would be around this camp. That's weird, actually. How? He says see you tomorrow, like she implied that she was going to be around tomorrow. Just around the camp.
Well, she is camp administrator.
She is their commandant.
She runs the camp.
Their commandant doesn't make sense, but anyway. Good morning, campers. The incessant singing over the loudspeakers woke Ethan up with a start, and he began groggily putting his second set of clothes on, over the top of his first set of clothes, because he never took them off. Once the short song ended, the obnoxious pony began reading the morning announcements. Okay, alright, okay. Ethan could hear the shuffling of papers. The cafeteria menu for the day of Monday, April 16th is chicken. Lo mein. What's that? And for you pony folk, hay fries and the flower of the day sandwich. Also, can James Thompson mosey on over to the purification room? You're up, Jimmy. This has been Pinkie Pie with your daily announcements. Have a fun-orific day. And with that, the loudspeaker crackled off. My God, there's nothing worse. Like, you thought a concentration camp basically was bad. A concentration camp where the loudspeaker is operated by Pinkie.
That makes sense.
It's just, that would do my head in. Where the hell are we? The second the speaker turned off, an audible woohoo was heard from a few rooms down. The heavy sprinting footsteps were soon followed by more noises of people in the dorm hallway thundering to their doors. Ethan joined them to see a person they don't know for the last time as a human. The scrawny, auburn-haired 20-something made his way out of his room wearing nothing but a ratty tank top and boxer shorts. He walked triumphantly down the hall with applauding campers. What is with this campers thing at each side of him?
He's trying to. He realized how fucking awful it sounded. Yeah, that everyone's going to this camp in order to get converted and stuff. He's like, okay, no, it's a summer camp. They're campers. They're happy campers. Stop thinking Nazis.
It's not Nazis, okay? Each side of him. Each step his last on human feet. The smug look on Jimmy's face showed that he was most certainly ready to be ponified. The clapping and cheering didn't end until he was out of sight. When the noise finally died down to a hush, people began sitting down in their doorways. Ethan turned to his dorm neighbour Barry. How long do these take? Ethan asked curiously. Another person near them answered the question. Give or take around 10 minutes. It's really short. I'm surprised. Technology is amazing.
No. That's stupid.
No. That's the point, actually. If you thought about it on a molecular level, I was watching Vsauce again today, and it was a thing about nostalgia, but it was saying basically the atoms that make up people, you know how they're recycled in the atmosphere, so.
Yeah.
part of atoms from me will be in someone else or something else later on. If you think about it that way, it wouldn't actually be that difficult if you used atoms and just rearranged them into the right shape.
Breaking people down to the atomic level, which is...
Well, that's what I'm saying. I say it's easy, but the actual idea of just changing the atoms into a different shape is easy, but the actual doing that is really difficult.
Well, the thing is, like, if you're doing that level, you could literally turn anything into anything else. Like, you could turn water into gold, because when you're out on the atomic level, you're even beyond the molecular level. You're beyond, like, the elements. You're down to just the basic building blocks.
Yeah.
You could take anything. Okay, I'm probably fucking this up because I don't know that much about science, but basically, from what I understand, you could probably you would, like, basically turn anything into anything else because you're, you know, below the molecular level. You're down to the building blocks of the molecular level, so you could just turn any molecule into any other molecule and build anything. Anything. Anything!
But unless this is like ridiculously smaller than atoms, then in which case I don't know about it. It's not possible to turn like a hydrogen atom into an oxygen atom. You couldn't do that, but you could. Compound-wise, you can change compounds anyway. But you know, it would be doable, but it would be difficult. Is basically what I'm saying. Blah, blah, what else did he do? How long does this take? Leaving the guy alone to his thoughts, Ethan decided to join the sitting group as they started making small talk and discussion of their own pony aspirations. I want to be a Pegasus. Flying that must be so cool, one boy said to the girl next to her. A few people near him nodded in agreement. Too extreme for me. I think I'll stick to just living with the simple life of an earth pony, the girl replied. Others nodded. Ethan had never really put much thought into what kind of pony he wanted to be.
I could fly or have magic, but fuck it, I just want to just sort of settle. Really, honestly, I don't want
to. How many people are actually going to choose Earth Pony? There's going to be a massive overabundance of Pegasi and unicorns because nobody, if you've been accustomed to having hands all your life, the only suitable substitute would be to use magic to levitate stuff. It's not going to work if you haven't got anything.
The default should be unicorn, and then for more adventurous people who really want to fly, it should be Pegasus. Like, there's no reason at all to be Earth Pony unless you're a self-loathing bastard who's like, you know what? I want a challenge. I want a challenge in my life. I was crippled when I was a human, and god damn it, I don't want any advantages now.
Ethan had never really put much thought into what kind of pony he wanted to be. After seeing so many ponies around the building, he was surprised he hadn't decided what he'd looked like. He assumed that your physical appearance all depends on genetics, but is the pony type chosen? Ethan was afraid to ask more questions. He didn't want to feel like a newbie with the other campers. A four-legged '(S) footsteps were heard by every camper simultaneously. They all looked down the hall intently, hoping to finally see the ponified Jimmy. The trotting sounded slow and careful. A loud thud was heard once, then a pause, then the trotting resumed. Jimmy turned the corner, fully ponied. A peach-coloured earth pony. The most prominent thing he'd kept was his auburn hair and stubble around his muzzle. The other obvious trait he seemed to have kept was the smug expression on his face, albeit with a little nervousness over his new legs. Jimmy was trotting very slowly, almost to a crawl, attempting to get used to his new centre of balance. The thud was heard again, except this time Ethan knew it was Jimmy falling on the floor, then getting himself up immediately and continuing to walk. Campus was going crazy, patting his back and head as he walked by, which seemed to create more troubles for his balance, and some just poked him, because that helps a lot. Ethan watched carefully as the new pony walked to his dorm's doorway, give a loud cheer of triumph and trot inside. Everyone resumed their daily business, with some people crowding around Jimmy to ask him questions. I can't think why anyone would actually want to do that, though. Like, why would you want to be converted? That's like...
Well, there's plenty of people who are like, I'd live in Equestria if I could. I'd want to be a pony if I could.
Yeah, but the thing is that there's a difference between saying, I want to live there, and I want to completely change my species. Because I definitely know that I wouldn't do that.
Well, considering the fact that there's a lot of supporters of conversion bureau. That does seem to be at least a relatively popular fantasy, even if it's not. Even if actually,
Not
if
gonna
it came down
happen
to it, I
in
doubt
any
a lot
way,
of Joe
shape,
would
or
actually
form.
doing it.
Yeah.
But
Ethan's mind had been wandering for the last few minutes of Jimmy's first trot. He had been thinking about what will happen when he becomes a pony. Will he enjoy being a herbivore? What if he hates flying? Well, you're kind of halfway there as an omnivore, aren't you? It's not that much big of a jump. That big
it's
of a
not
jump.
huge, you jackass.
I mean, if you liked meat, I guess it would be, but that depends on the person. What if he hates flying? Well, he doesn't have to be with Pegasus. Who will he meet when he goes to Equestria? If he does, will he miss his feet and opposable thumbs? I would. Ethan felt like he had taken up a much larger commitment than he had expected, but he knew it must be done eventually and got it off his mind come lunchtime. To be fair, you don't have to do it. You could just die because of the magic not being compatible with your body. If you really wanted to take the hardcore approach, just be like, no, I'd rather die a human than live a pony. Hey dude, you gonna eat your salad? A passerby pony asked him at the lunchroom. Ethan snapped back into reality. Oh no, you can have it. Thanks, brah. Not a big fan of dandelions myself. Pony chuckled. Started to shovel the salad into his tray with his snout. Hey, Ethan asked with blinding curiosity. How long have you been a pony? How does it feel? I got ponyfied yesterday morning. It was a little awkward for the first hour or so, but it gets way easy afterwards. Moving things is still a problem, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. Take it easy, brah. And with that, the pony trotted away, with tray in tow on his back.
Yeah, that seems stupid. Just like, why would you carry it on your back? Like, I don't carry shit on my head. I have arms and hands, so I don't put, trays on my arms. Like, this would be the equivalent of going like, oh, I need to carry this shit and I can't use my fingers. I can either hold a tray on my flat palms, or in this case, like using your teeth or something, or I could lay it out on my,
I'll bounce it on my nose, on end.
It's like for like the things like, if you can't use your hands, use your teeth, use your mouth. Don't, the worst, stack it on your head. Don't fucking put it on your back where it's going to be a pain in the ass to get to it, and then you have to balance it, and then it's going to be a pain in the ass to get it off again. That's stupid. That's stupid thinking.
Right. How does it feel? Blah, 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 blah. Barry retired from his bountiful lunch and turned towards Ethan. You gotta calm down, man. You're getting all tense over nothing. I know. I'll take you over to the...
Don't tell me to be calm, you motherfucker!
That ought to calm you down. I love the fact it's like, you're getting worked up over nothing. Yeah, because nothing is what genetic modifications are. It's nothing. It happens all the time.
You're gonna have your body sliced to pieces and then rebuilt as a pony. You're getting worried over nothing, dude.
Calm yourself.
Real.
Smoke some weed. That'll calm you down.
Pony, but then I got high.
There are greenhouses, Ethan asked, only to realise immediately after saying that he'd seen the greenhouses when he walked in the other day. Yeah, I was going to say, if he didn't say, I was going to call him up on that, because, of course, stupid. Didn't you see the big glass things outside? Barry said jokingly. Let's go. Barry energetically grabbed Ethan by the wrist and dragged him out of the lunchroom, just barely leaving Ethan time to throw the rest of his lunch away. The greenhouse was massive. Despite being an isolated glass case filled with trees, the ceiling was nowhere in sight, or at least to Ethan's sight. The trees towered over the rest of the nearby structures, and many pegasi were seen flying overhead, with a look of sheer elation plastered on each of their faces. Anyone could tell from where they were standing that these ponies were having the time of their lives. Isn't this calming? Barry asked, hoping to get a positive response from the dazzled Ethan, who had been staring up at the pegasi the whole time. Yeah, really peaceful, Ethan said, trying his best to pay attention to Barry over the sound of the forest's wildlife. It looked like an amalgamation of every woods that Ethan walked in. There was a muddy creek, a plethora of bugs and small rodents, low and high-hanging branches, and very humid post-rainstorm atmosphere throughout.
I actually feel kind of dizzy and vertigo-y whenever I see kites flying around, so the idea of looking up in the sky and just watching outside and be like, man, that's fucking awesome. That's horrifying to me.
I am so dizzy right now, I need to sit down.
I'd be like, oh no, vertigo, no.
I'd end up just staring at the ground, probably.
Yeah.
hiking branches. Finally done with looking up at the winged ponies, Ethan lowered his head with a noticeable crack. Hey Barry, he started, I think I've broken my neck. No, only to see that Barry was distracted talking to a unicorn friend of his near the river. Ethan decided to go on his own and sat down lazily on a nearby rock.
Is that Twilight, or is this dude just like going around making mad friends?
Apparently, a bush rustled nearby, not right next to Ethan, but within earshot where he was curious. He heard it again, followed with some light mumbling. From the rock he rose to investigate. The bushes nearby were bare, but he could still hear the mumbling. It was clearly a someone, as it sounded like the mumbling was English. The source of the mumbling came from a Pegasus pony in a thicket just behind the rock. The Pegasus had a long, wavy pink mane and a sunny yellow coat. Her blue-green eyes looked distressed and nervous. Oh no, Mr. Squirrel, you shouldn't sneak into those thorn bushes like that. It's not safe, the pony said quietly, slowly removing a baby squirrel from a thorn bush.
Shut your mouth, dogs! Shut your mouth! I tell you it's still.
That would be my brother.
I tell you it's still, dogs.
Great.
So yeah, no, not racist. Right, still not racist.
Because that just happened. Debating whether I should cut this out in post or not.
Like that sounds like. On the one hand, normally I'm in favor of being lazy. On the other hand, that's legitimate racism there. That is like legitimate us getting in trouble racism.
Well, it's not us, it's your brother, who is a horrific racist.
Again, despite all the Nazi talk, we're not racist.
We're not.
To be fair, like we're saying Nazism is bad. So
we are complete supporters of the opposite of whatever Nazism is, or whatever the opposite of Nazism is.
We are part of the controversial Nazis are bad guys party.
We're part of the Communist Party because that's what the opposite to.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Socialism.
Okay, so we're commies.
No, national. Whatever.
National socialism.
That's the one. Is something wrong? Hello, the pony mumbled. Is something wrong? Ethan asked the pony, worried he'll hurt her feelings. Oh no, just nothing, the pony replied, trailing off near the end of the sentence. Do you need help at all? Ethan said, noticing the animals she had previously had in tow, running off into the bushes. No, it's fine, but you can help. I mean, if you want. Sure.
You can loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, continue to ignore that. It's not me.
Yeah. Ethan and his new friend spent the next hour or so gathering up the animals. It was a lot easier than Ethan had expected, and all of the animals seemed very harmless and friendly. Very odd behaviour for animals that Ethan had been raised to know carried rabies and weren't afraid to bite humans in self-defense.
Wow!
Since when?
It's such a shit show! Wow!
Since when? Rabies has been like all but eradicated in most of first world countries.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And the thing is, like, yeah, like, rabies animals, like, they don't actually live that long. Like, they...
Yeah. If you've seen it in humans, you last a very short amount of time before you die.
Yeah, so things like, if they all have rabies, then the animals, like, they're all extinct. Like,
yeah, they're all dead.
They're all dead.
And I'd also like to make a point that, a rabies-ridden animal, the virus will... It's quite a weird thing, actually. It's quite worrying. It messes up their minds so that they actively go out in search of things to bite to transfer the virus. But, you know, a rabies animal isn't going to bite out of self-defense. It's going to bite to transfer the virus to a different host. And I have never been out in a park and just randomly been bitten by a squirrel because I got too close. The squirrel will run away because I'm a hell of a lot bigger than it is. After the last chipmunk was found in a patch of tall grass, Ethan and the pony walked to the rock where they met and Ethan sat down. You know, in all of this excitement, I didn't catch your name, Ethan said quizzically. Oh, I'm Fluttershy. I'm sorry, did I get your name? No, you didn't. Don't worry, I'm Ethan. Nice meeting you, Fluttershy. This dialogue is extremely one-dimensional. Nice meeting you too, I guess. I'm kind of
torn. Like, on the one hand, this dialogue is super bland and not particularly interesting. On the other hand, at least it's not offensively out of character.
That's true, that is true. That's one good point about it. Fluttershy replied. Ethan couldn't shake off the fact that Fluttershy seemed to always be so quiet, even with how friendly they've gotten. Where she could finally speak full sentences to him without squeaking in fright. She seemed to be prematurely reclusive. Oh, sorry, perpetually reclusive. Suddenly, a blue Pegasus pony flew overhead and stopped about 10 feet above their heads. I bet that's Rainbow Dash because he said 10 feet, and that's like 10 seconds. Okay. Come on, Fluttershy, she shouted impatiently. Quit talking to your new friend and help me greet the new Pegasi. We still need to teach him to fly, you know. Exposition. Your job is to teach them to fly. I'm coming, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy called out to the Pegasus, then turned to Ethan and smiled at him, as if to say bye without actually saying it, and gently flew away. Barry arrived seconds later, even though I thought he met him at the rock, so he should have been there, but unbeknownst to Ethan, he'd been there the whole time. So he arrived seconds later, even though he was there the whole time.
No!
You can't arrive if you're already there.
No, I just read ahead a little bit. No!
Dude, she totally has the hots for you. He said, making Ethan jump off his rock and onto the dirt road. Shut up, Ethan joked as they left the greenhouse. What the hell? That's not even a joke. Who would find that a funny joke, even with your friends? It's not a joke.
It's foreshadowing. I swear to God, if the story hadn't ended after like chapter 5, that would have been foreshadowing for a romance.
We've got exposition and foreshadowing.
Oh my God, this is like, no offense or anything, but like.
So I'm just gonna quickly check here. Like, it doesn't actually get past chapter 4, and there is no romance story.
And as it gets to like chapter 5, they do imply romance, but they never actually develop it because the story ends before that point.
Thank God.
But yeah, that like this again, no offense, because I know that you did work on this, but like you play Welcome to Ponyville.
Mm-hmm. Well, I played the game, so.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Like there's some bits with Rarity, Dash, and Fluttershy that kind of hit this level of you don't like. It doesn't really feel like they're in character, and they are basically just being blatantly set up for some sort of romantic.
It's kind of difficult though, because there is no romance in the show apart from Spike and Rarity, and even that's not very like, it's very kind of mild.
There are people who, like, okay, admittedly, normally, like, I'd say that most shipping is shit, but there are some really good shipping writers. There are people who manage to make romance good. It is possible to write a good romance story. Having said that, it is also entirely possible to write a shitty romance story, and it is fucking annoying as hell when you do that.
Well, if by any chance you are talking about Welcome to Ponyville, I am the assistant creative director and not the writer, so.
I'm talking about a couple of different things, but Welcome to Ponyville jumps to mind particularly because it actually is responsible for for a line that really pissed me off, where your character initially meets Fluttershy and your internal reaction is automatically, wow, what a wimp. Like, you don't get a choice in the matter. It's just like your character's like, wow, what a complete fucking doormat. It's like, dude, congratulations.
It's blatant, but it is kind of true.
Me want to kill my own character, but you've done it.
Chapter 4, according to plan. From the moment Ethan gained consciousness, there was noise. I'm not sure why he was unconscious. The sights were calming. From the sun beating down on his bed from the nearby window to the spring wind blowing lazily into his open window. The sounds, however, were anything but peaceful. Raucous cheering and shouting were heard immediately outside his dorm room, the kind he had heard the day before when Jimmy was being ponified. After finally realising what he was about to miss, Ethan shot from his bed, bolted to the door and yanked it open. Whoever was being ponified had already walked down the hallway, so people began quietening down. Ethan sat on the hallway door, curious as to who was being ponified and if he knew them.
You only know one person at the entire goddamn camp. So yeah, it's you either know the person or you don't. It's only one person.
I guarantee it's going to be Barry. But suddenly Ethan noticed something. The door adjacent to his was wide open, and its bed and doorway were unoccupied. Ethan could have sworn the loud footsteps he heard were much louder than when it was Jimmy's turn, and he hadn't gotten a tap on his shoulder or a silly remark yet today from a certain friend of his. Oh no, Ethan said out loud to himself. No one had heard him, but it was the only way he could vent his anger towards himself. He just missed seeing Barry as a human for the last time.
Well, Barry's a bit of a shithead. He just is like, oh, my friends not here to see me off. Oh, fuck it, whatever. I'll see him again.
While this may not be a big deal, considering at least he'd still see him, this was still a life-changing event for Barry, and Ethan felt horrible for missing the beginning of it. All he could do was sit and wait for his friend to return. The inevitable cheering commenced again after what seemed like centuries for Ethan, as Pony Barry trotted down, or PB.
I really hope that's his name.
Trotted down the hallway. His coat was an odd mixture of orange and yellow, making it seem like he might have had a scent like an air freshener. His brown hair had been almost directly transferred to his mane, even keeping his perpetual bedhead intact. The next thing Ethan noticed was that Barry was a unicorn, and thus would receive training from Twilight sometime today. Ethan pictured Barry attempting magic and failing horribly, which made him laugh a bit. Ha 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 ha. What's so funny? Never seen an attractive pony before. Well, according to that line in chapter 3 at the end...
Yeah, by the way, he's still not gay. This is just joking around. Barry's got a super... Like, remember, we've established that, that they're attracted to ladies.
Yeah, because he made a Fluttershy reference, and also he had a man hug and not a homoerotic hug.
Yeah, so remember, kids, they've already established that he's got a serious case of the not gays.
Yeah.
So,
you want to be careful of that, kids. Blah, 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 blah. What's so funny, I've seen attractive pony before. Barry had just reached his dorm room door and was sitting next to Ethan. I've just thought, dude, she totally has the hots for you, and what's so funny, never seen an attractive pony before. You do realise this is cross-species relationships here.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy as shit, dude.
I mean, I can understand it more because they're sentient beings, and therefore that would make it more acceptable. But still...
Yeah.
I mean, at least, like, it's not like some people today who do strange things with animals. Yeah.
At least they're bestiality, but it's pretty fucking creepy nonetheless.
I mean, we've got not really anything to compare it to because there is no other, like, speaking, intelligent, sentient species. So we have no sort of basis to go on, but I'm guessing it would be a bit weird even if it was a thing. Especially if it's only just happened as well, like they've only just started being turned into these things. Anyway, what's funny about that? Oh my god, I keep reading the same line over and over again.
Let's get to the end of this little bit and then let's take a break. Because...
Ethan hadn't noticed Barry's presence and jumped a bit at the sight of him. No, and I still haven't, they both laughed. Then Ethan asked for what seemed like the umpteenth time this week, how does it feel? I knew you were going to ask me this, Barrel said.
Barrel.
Ethan still had trouble putting Barry's voice in the pony's mouth, but it seemed to fit the look nicely. It's new, I'll give you that. Walking is easier than it looks, but it still takes some getting used to. I feel like I'm a midget with 4 legs, with how short I am now.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure midget is now not a politically correct word, but okay. A midget with 4 legs and a horn, Ethan corrected Barry. Have you used it yet? Barry looked straight up at his forehead where the orange appendage stared right back at him. Not yet, I'd like to though. Try opening that guy's door, Ethan suggested, pointing to a door across the room. Barry concentrated much more than Ethan had ever seen him concentrate on anything. Really?
Well, this guy's a douche.
His horn began to glow a little, lighting up the area around him. The doorknob of the door. Wait a second, there were no doorknobs on that door at the beginning of this story.
Okay, so apparently this door just happens to have a doorknob.
The doorknob of the door Ethan suggested began turning slowly, as if it was struggling to open. Suddenly the door thrust itself open and slammed against the adjacent wall as it opened. Barry panted heavily and numerous people clapped and cheered and patted him on the back in congratulations. Wow, dude, you managed to magic a door handle out of nowhere so you could open that door with the door handle, and then you slammed it against the wall, probably breaking the wall or the door. Good job.
He's kind of an idiot.
I mean, I know he's only just got it and he hasn't learned to use it yet, but come on.
Also, shouldn't it, like, not be that he's using it too well, but that he's not able to use it at all? Like, This guy seems to be a bit of a prodigy, since he's basically just like, oh, I've now gained this ability. I will now use it to an extraordinary ability. Yeah, extraordinary extent.
Well, I mean, it is just opening a door, and to be fair, he didn't have much control over it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, that shouldn't be the issue. The issue shouldn't be that he's using it with too much force. It should be that he's doesn't know how to use it in the first place, or they can only use it to an incredibly, pathetically tiny extent. It's just like, man, I'm so powerful, I don't even know how to control it after just getting it.
Yeah. Right, we're going to take a break now because we've read a shit ton.
Yeah, we've read for like 2 fucking hours. Jesus Christ.
2 hours, that's a bit much. The Skype call hasn't been going since the story reading started, but...
Well, we've been running for at least an hour, so that's at least one episode. So yeah, that's an episode. I don't want the
70,000 kilobytes this file size is now.
Christ.
That can't
So it's
be
like
right,
7.
no.
Well, it's like 7 megabytes. It's not that
There's
bad.
got to be a...
Or like,
There's got to be a decimal point in there somewhere. Anyway, yeah, we'll see you in the next part or something.
I'll see you guys next time.